How's it going, guys? Welcome to Beyond the 9 to 5 with me, Gino. I really appreciate you guys stopping by the channel. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about my videos. All that stuff really helps out since we're a young channel. We're hoping to keep this going, right? Me? It's just me, right? There's no ghosts. Anyway, no ghosts, just you and me. I wanted to take this video to talk about financial independence, and by the end of this video, hopefully you'll have something of a basic grasp on what that means and how that can help you in your journey beyond the 9 to 5. So financial independence, in its very basic concept, means that you are financially independent. I know that's a silly way to define it, but imagine that all your assets pay for all your expenses. Right? So what that means is you no longer have to trade your time for money, right? So most people are stuck into a 9 to 5 because they have bills to pay. Everyone's got bills to pay, right? It's why people go to work. People don't like their work particularly most of the time, sadly. But they have to keep the water running. They got to feed their kids. They got to pay the mortgage. They got to do all that stuff, right? So financial independence is when the money you have or the investments you have will pay for your expenses. Imagine you had money socked away in the bank or in stocks, and the appreciation was enough to pay for all your expenses. The basic way that gets calculated that most people go by is the 4% rule, right? So for example, if I'm spending 40 grand a year, you got to take 40 grand and multiply it by 25. That's how much I need invested in the stock market, averaging returns, on average returns, to pay for all my expenses. And so that's great. And we'll go into the details on what that means and how to do it more specifically, all the different tax advantaged accounts. We're gonna go into that, right? Check out the channel. There might be some already, but we'll be talking about that. What I want to talk about more here is how that can help you and why you might want to do that. So first of all, living paycheck to paycheck is tough. I'm sure a lot of you out there might be doing that or have been through that, so you know what that might be like. It's not great. You don't feel very secure. If you get laid off the next day, you're going to be out of money very soon, right? You're going to have to go do unemployment and benefits and other things like that to cover your expenses. It doesn't feel great. So the important thing to know is financial independence gives you security. At the end of the day, it gives you peace of mind, right? If you have X money socked away that's paying for your expenses and you get fired the next day, what does it matter? If you have an emergency fund for 3 to 6 months, right, and you get fired and laid off, whatever, furloughed, you're not going to be worried. You got enough to cover yourself while you're looking for something else to do, right? And the beauty of the financial independence journey is that the goal, it's not like something where you have to cross that finish line to get all the rewards. Not at all. You don't need to do that, right? There's rewards on the way that can motivate you to keep going. For example, something that people recommend, like Dave Ramsey, etc., is that emergency stash, emergency savings, so that when something like that happens, you have something to fall back on and it won't disrupt your investments and you won't have to borrow money and go further into debt, right? So that is the first step that a lot of people suggest. And just that first step can have amazing results for you mentally, right? You feel so much more confident when you got a good chunk of change socked away. You realize that you don't have to keep working. If you really didn't want to, you wouldn't have to work for 3 to 6 months. Think about that for a second. For a lot of people, they work paycheck to paycheck for most of their lives. If you were in a position where you don't have to work for the next 3 to 6 months and you could live, you are so far ahead of so many people. You are on the right track, right? And it keeps going and progressing. Eventually, you have enough socked away to pay for some bills. For example, me right now at 23, I've really taken this to heart and I've started investing. And with the amount of money I have invested right now, I could take that, let it grow, and live off the interest, right? Live off the interest, keeping up with inflation. So basically the principal stays the same. The amount of money I have socked away keeps its value with inflation. And I can just slice off a little bit every year And that's what I can use to pay for my phone bill and some of my utilities. Phone bill and utilities. At 23, I have a long ways to go, right? But if I stopped right now, stopped the financial independence journey, I would never have to, out of my paycheck, ever pay for my phone bill or my utilities ever again. Already, right? So, and you just start adding to that and adding to that. And then after utilities, your car insurance payments taken care of. Then after car insurance, your gas is taken care of. Then some of your mortgage is taken care of, food, health insurance, all that stuff, one by one. As you continue along that journey, saving and investing, more and more of your bills will be paid by this, right? And that's where you become independent of your work, of that 9 to 5. And that's how you can go beyond the 9 to 5. Haha, beyond the 9 to 5. Like, comment, and subscribe if you've gotten this far. I'm sorry, but it really helps out the channel. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Let me know what you're thinking so far. If you you have any questions, you think what I'm saying is silly, let me know. Let's talk it out. Let's figure out what's going on. I'd really love to help. And so, like I was saying, with the journey, it's incremental, right? That finish line is when that last bill is able to be paid by the money that you have saved and invested. But even if you got halfway and said, you know what, this was a lot of work, I think it did some good, but I'm done, right? I don't want to continue down this road. I want to spend much more money. I want more instant gratification, etc. You do you. And if you're halfway, guess what? You'll never have to pay for half of your bills, assuming you keep your same standard of living. You're never going to have to pay for half the things anymore. That frees up so much money. Suddenly not half your paycheck goes to your car payment and your mortgage, right? Because a lot of that's covered. So that's a lot of the beauty I see, is when you look at it in the right perspective, and we're going to help you guys with that on this channel, right? We'll go into the details on how to do that and those different milestones, the different types of financial independence, all that jazz, right? But specifically, any steps that you go on this journey, any amount that you go forward is going to help you tremendously. You're going to be so happy. You're going to feel so fulfilled. And even if it's to the point, one of my favorite concepts is coasting financial independence, right? Just to touch on it lightly, it means when you have enough invested that if you let it grow until your retirement age, you didn't contribute anymore, right? But you just let that sum grow until your retirement age, that's your retirement money. You can do that, right? And one of the reasons I love that stage of financial independence is that once you get there, if you wanted to and you don't mind working, you can just say, this, I'm headed out. I don't need this high-paying, high-stress job. I can go work as a bartender in Hawaii, enjoy my life, work a little bit, enough to pay the bills, and that's it. Because guess what? Your retirement's taken care of. Assuming you cover your costs up until the point that you get there, which is why you would need to keep some sort of a job, your retirement's taken care of, and that's a beautiful thing. Suddenly it's coasting independence is what some people call it, or freedom from employer financial independence, right? Because now you just need enough to cover your costs. You don't need, technically, to invest anymore, right? You can keep going if you want. There's nothing bad in keeping going. You're going to pay for more bills, and eventually you can entirely live off the money, so you didn't need to work anywhere. But specifically at coasting financial independence, you don't need to work that high stressful job to make that much money anymore. You can go work as an artist, helping kids, or a teacher, or something else that you've been wanting to do, but you can't do because it doesn't pay that well. I know I myself am stuck in that right now. I'm working a relatively high stressful, not an engineering job anymore. It's leadership, right? I'm on a staff, but I'm working in an industry that I find some fun in, but by and large, if they weren't paying me, I wouldn't be there. Right? And there's a lot more jobs that I'd probably like to do that I'd have a better time doing. So once I get to coasting financial independence, that's a decision that I could make. I could say, hey, I've saved enough for retirement. I don't have to work this high stress job anymore. I can go, do something with my hands. I can be a gardener. I can, sell stuff online on Shopify. I don't know, YouTube, whatever that might be. It's such a liberating moment that I have so much excitement to reach one day, right? And I hope you do too, now that I've explained a little bit of it. Maybe you guys have heard about it before. Let me know what you think. If you think it's a great idea, if you think it's silly, if you think it's completely unobtainable, I'm working on it myself. Like I said, this is Beyond the 9 to 5 with Gino. I'm on the same journey you guys are. It's not like I'm there yet. We're going somewhere, and it's going to be quite the fun journey, I'm sure. And we're gonna learn a lot. But financial independence is definitely one of those topics that's gonna be very prevalent on this channel. It's formed so much of my life in the past 2 years since I was a senior in college, and it's really dominated my mind, because it doesn't matter what job you're in, it doesn't matter where you live, it doesn't matter a little bit how much money you make. It's really about the financial choices that you make outside of that that so heavily influence your trajectory in reference to financial independence, right? Wealth is not built in a day unless you win the lottery. And please do not bank on winning the lottery. The odds on that are scary. I might do another video on that sometime so that you guys can kind of visualize what that is. But anyway, the responsible way, quote unquote responsible, but the way that most people become millionaires is through this whole road of financial independence. And even the FIRE movement, right? Financially independent, retire early, taking advantage of the tax advantage accounts, all that jazz. Financial independence is a beautiful topic of conversation. There's so much to learn. And together, you and I are going to learn a lot of it. We're going to learn as we go, right? I have a lot to contribute. You guys have a lot to contribute. We're going to be doing this together. So let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you guys like the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to try to be posting 3 times a week on this channel, right? 3 times a week. So hopefully we can build up that subscriber count, get a little bit of a community going of a lot of people that want to go beyond their 9 to 5. So thank you again so much for watching this video. It helps the channel out a lot. Remember again to like and comment and all that jazz. But thank you for everything. Really appreciate it. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. This is Gino signing off.